Hey, it's past midnight. I'm in Scotland, on the shore of the North Sea, in the house of the British explorer John McDouall Stuart, and I'm recording this video not because I want to tell you a piece of fiction. I'm recording it because I can't sleep. It's not just insomnia, I guess. I feel a presence here. Do you even believe in ghosts? Because nothing like this has ever happened to me before. I'm from Belarus. We don't really have ancient castles or 19th century houses where you can spend the night. Most of them were destroyed during the Second World War. The Nazis swept through Belarus in a matter of months, leaving ruins behind. And this is the oldest house I ever stayed in. Well, aside from a cave town in Cappadocia in Turkey. There I felt something similar, but it wasn't a presence that unsettled me. It was a smell of fire. I remember we stayed in one of those cave hotels, centuries old. My son was a year and a half at that time, and he woke often during the night. Around 2 in the morning, half asleep, I was pacing the room, rocking him in my arms, when suddenly I smelled smoke and even seemed to hear the faint cracking of a fire. It was so real that I didn't doubt it for a second. I thought that something had gone wrong with the wiring, that I needed to wake up my husband and call the firefighters. Well, he woke up, but he couldn't smell anything. And the more awake I became, the fainter the smell grew until it disappeared completely. After checking all the rooms again, we went back to sleep. At breakfast, I couldn't resist asking the owner about it, whether anyone else had noticed the smell of burning during the night. He told me that people often sense the smell in the caves, sometimes footsteps, rustling, even the sound of fire. And now, as it happens, I'm sitting here alone, and I'll admit just a little uneasy. So I want to ask you, do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever seen one, heard something, felt something, experienced anything at all? Tell me in the comments. I've just made 2 cups of tea, one for myself and one for the whoever here with me tonight. You know, my mother had 2 encounters of her own. The first was with our cat. My brother and I had taken him to our grandmother's village while our mother stayed behind in the city. The cat ran off into the marshes and we searched him until nightfall but couldn't find. The next day when my mother arrived, she told us that Serik, our cat, had come to her during the night. She was half asleep, but she felt him moving at her feet, then climbing onto her chest. He was a big heavy cat and it became uncomfortable, so she tried to nudge him gently to make him lie beside her instead of wandering. She had completely forgotten that we had taken him away. She raised her hand to push him, and in this moment her hand passed through empty air, meeting no resistance at all. Then she woke up completely. The second time she was visited in a dream by her sister-in-law. She had been a lovely woman. She adored tea and long conversations with my mother. She died of cancer, and 3 days after her funeral, she came to my mother in a dream. She sat down in the chair and said, "Tanya," my mother's name is Tatiana, "talk to me, pour me some tea." And my mother said, "Luda, you've died. How can you drink tea?" I know, she replied. Then my mother asked, Luda, are you in heaven? No, she said, I'm in hell. What is hell? My mother asked. And she answered, hell is when you die and long for a cup of tea, but you cannot drink it. After that, whenever I saw food and drink left at Orthodox cemeteries, I began to understand it in my own way. Of course, this offering this English tea with milk is not an experiment. I know it will remain untouched until morning, and yet, perhaps the one who isn't sleeping with me in this house tonight once loved tea too.
The home of John McDouall Stuart is a truly astonishing place. One steps inside and without hesitation or resistance plunges headfirst into the atmosphere of the 19th century. Despite the chill of Scotland's coastline and the house standing almost on the edge of the North Sea, the living room is breathtaking. Soaring ceiling, vast windows, and a view that feels nearly 260 degrees wide. From here unfolds a magnificent panorama of the bay, the distant outline of Edinburgh, and a shoreline that shifts its colors and moods by the hour. In the morning, bright sunlight rises and washes everything in pink-lilac hues. By midday, clouds gather and carry deep blue-gray tones across the water. By evening, the sunset dissolves into a soft purple haze. The landscape is almost never the same, and you can never quite have enough of it. I cannot help but think it was this very view that nurtured in the young cartographer a lifelong awe of nature, distant shores, and our extraordinary planet. Yet, what finally pushed him toward Australia became clear to me one night when a cyclone arrived and the temperature leapt by nearly 15 degrees. Blankets, wool socks, and thick sweaters barely saved us, and this with electric radiators in every room, and in mid-April. The cold. Obviously, the cold. Suddenly, Australia feels less like a bold adventure and more like a perfectly sensible life decision. From the outside, it's clear the house was equipped with 2 fireplaces that once ran straight up through the building from the ground floor. Wooden shutters still guard every single window without exception, and the low bedroom ceiling paired with its tiny window told us more than enough about the cold realities of an early 19th century home. There is still no central heating today, and even with electricity, keeping such a big house warm, one that meets the insatiable northern winds head-on, feels like an act of heroism. But life in that house was far from the only act of heroism in John McDouall's life. Born in Scotland in 1815, Stuart arrived in Australia as a young surveyor, stepping into a continent that Europeans barely understood. The center of Australia was still a blank space on maps, an immense desert feared for its heat, isolation, and scarcity of water. Many expeditions had failed, some never returned. Stuart was different. Slight in stature but extraordinary in resilience, he led a series of expeditions into the heart of the continent during the 1850s and 1860s. Facing blistering heat, starvation, scurvy, and near blindness, he pushed further north with each attempt. His journeys were not grand military campaigns but fragile ventures of a few men, horses, and unwavering resolve. In 1862, after years of failed attempts and repeated retreats, Stuart achieved what others could not. He successfully crossed Australia from south to north and back again, reaching the shores of the Timor Sea. His route would later become the path for the overland telegraph line and the modern Stuart Highway, a corridor that helped connect Australia to the world. Stuart's health was shattered by the journey. He never fully recovered, and he never returned back to Scotland. Yet his legacy remains immense. he transformed the unknown interior into mapped territory and proved that the continent could be crossed. In the silent landscapes of Central Australia, his story still echoes, a testament to courage, persistence, and the human urge to explore the unknown.